All right, what's going on, everyone? We got a Dandadan stream today. Was really excited to read this chapter. We got one of my favorite characters coming back, and it looks like he might be playing a new regular role, which is something everyone was asking for. Everyone loved Unji in the earlier arc. They wanted him to make a comeback. Obviously, he's got a cool transformation. He's got a cool backstory. So seeing Unji come back in this, what could be the best arc of Dandadan so far, seeing him be a part of that is going to be really exciting. Thoughts on Dr. Zeno's voice actor? I think he's pretty good, you know. I am going to have to see how he does throughout the season, but so far I think he's good. Voice actors usually grow on me because obviously, especially if you are a manga reader, you have these expectations in your head. So I would suggest to kind of just like forget about those and just like let it be what it's going to be. As an anime-only fan, I'm excited to see Unji just recently got into the anime. Yeah, he is such a cool character. I don't think... Yeah, he probably won't be in part 2 or season 2. But hopefully the next season after that. Because he's such a cool character. And honestly, I think he's got the coolest looking transformation out of all the characters. Off the top of my head, anyway. Anyway, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Forgot my water on the other side of the room. I miss the Kagurabachi streams. Yeah, so the weekly Shonen Jump streams will be back in February. The reason I stopped doing those this month is because there's no Jump until the 19th. And so I figured, okay, well, I'm not going to stream when Jump is on break. And then I figured, well, if I'm going to take 2 weeks off, I'll just take the month off from Sundays. Sort of use the time to get ahead of myself. But we're going to do weekly Shonen Jump and especially Kagurabachi streams on Sundays, every Sunday, starting back in February. His transformation kind of looks like Okarune's. Yeah, I mean, so you have Okarune, Ira. What's the president's name? Do I agree on how the voice should have been? I was hoping for a higher pitched voice. No, I honestly was kind of hoping for a deep voice, so I feel like it's in the happy medium. But anyway, we got Okarune. As far as like power users with like hybrid forms, we have Okarune, Ira, technically Gigi if you want to throw him in there, but I wouldn't really say he counts. So Okarune, Ira, and the President, I think, are the only hybrid fighters. Yeah, Okarune, Unji, Ira, and even then Okarune is kind of out of the picture in that department. So it's really just Ira and Unji when you think about it. But yeah, they all kind of have that motif of like they get like a beefed up form with like a cool looking mask and some kind of, I wouldn't even say an item. Unji is the only one with an item. Deep fits Stanley as the taiju of their relationship. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he's definitely the taiju of their relationship, so that does make sense. But again, with anime voices, I try not to let my expectations dictate the voice. I just kind of like to let them perform it and then see how I feel about it. I was kind of hoping um that Xena would be voiced by the voice of Sukuna and Grimjow, but I like this voice. I like this voice actor. Love how one of your best performing videos is the unspoken Riz of Okarun. Yeah, I'm gonna play around with that. I'm gonna try and do that for other characters because that was a really fun video. Obviously, part of it was that I got to talk about Dandadan and the romance of Dandadan. But it was also kind of fun to be like, hey, here's a character who you wouldn't normally think is, traditionally attractive, but he also like has more ships and more romances than any other character in the series. Expectations are good. Imagine if Tsukasa had Pika's voice from One Piece. Yeah, but in that case, that was kind of the point, right? Like, that was Pika's whole shtick, was that he was a really big character and he had a high-pitched voice. Me and my girlfriend broke up because she asked me if she was the best experience I ever had, but I already watched Attack on Titan. Yeah, man. Sometimes 2D girls are just better than 3D girls. Real life girls. 2D girls hit different. Honestly, I feel that way about the South America arc of Dr. Stone. That's one of the best experiences in media, period. Let me pull up the chapter because I do have some thoughts about today's chapter. Also, how's everyone doing today? I know it's Monday. I don't know about your neck of the woods, but it's a very dreary, cold Monday in my neighborhood. But, drama free. We're on break from Jump, which is sad. But there's a ton of great anime out. Oh, also for anyone who's checked it out, how are we feeling about Dr. Stone and or Sakamoto Days? Dr. Stone was great. I've not watched Sakamoto Days yet. Obviously, I've read the manga, have not watched the first episode yet, but I've heard that everyone is really happy with episode 1. Who would I like to be the voice for Zuma? I kind of wish the voice of Josuke from part 4 would voice Zuma, because Josuke isn't a delinquent like Jotaro, but he does kind of have that delinquent energy, and he's like a younger sounding character. So I really hope that he has a voice like that. But again, with voices, I don't really like to decide like, okay, this is who should voice this character, because you're kind of just setting yourself up for disappointment. It happened to me with Momo. I thought Momo should have been voiced by I forget what other characters they've played, but the person who voices Otai in Gintama, Shinpachi's sister, I thought she would have been good for Momo. But I think the Japanese voice, I haven't watched the dub yet, I think the Japanese voice for Momo is perfect. So obviously you kind of like have your head canon of what the character sounds like when you read the manga, and how that changes depends on how much you vibe with the character in the anime. Did I watch Sakamoto Days? No. Obviously, I read the manga, but I have not had a chance to watch the first episode yet. I had a lot of people, or I've seen a lot of people say that the first episode was really, really good. What do you guys think about the opening for Sakamoto Days? Because it seems okay. It seems very TMS. And when I say TMS, I mean, like, if you look at the Dr. Stone openings ever since season 3, they've been kind of just like, hey, here's some people walking and here's some shit that's gonna happen this season. Although the Dr. Stone opening for season 4, banger. I kind of felt iffy about it at first, but it's grown on me. Anyway, I want to talk about today's chapter. What did we think about the chapter, by the way? Because I thought it was really, really good. Although, I do have thoughts. So, they're in front of the school. They see all of the delinquents from the other part of town that were in the previous arc. Second half was really boring and lifeless. What do you mean? In reference to what? I don't watch opening because they have spoilers. That is a very prudent policy to follow. I respect that. I am rarely anime only anymore. There's only a few anime that I'm anime only on. A bunch of rom-coms, and then Shangri-La Frontier I am anime only on. But yeah, I don't know if it's a Japan thing or like a corporate Japan thing, but they don't give a shit about spoilers. Akairo, so the visuals were really boring and lifeless. Are you talking about the first episode? Oh, the opening. Okay, thank you. The visual for the second half of the OP just lacked that punch I was expecting from the slow build up from the beginning. Yeah, I mean, generally it looks good, but it doesn't really seem like it has a lot going on. I'll have to re-listen to the song when I watch the first episode to see how I feel about it. Yeah, Naruto openings have a fair bit of spoilers. The worst one was that first opening for Wano and One Piece. That one was brutal. I haven't read most of the Dandadan manga. I have only read the first and second one. So just the first 2 volumes. In that case, you might not want to. You might want to cover your ears. I won't share like huge spoilers, but obviously we're talking about the new chapter. Excuse me. Anyway, excuse me 1 second. What is your opinion on solo leveling manhwa versus anime art style? So let me qualify this opinion with I have not read the manhwa / webtoon. I read like maybe the first few chapters just to kind of get a feel for it. But I like the anime art style better. I think the anime looks much more polished in a good way. And obviously, who's the studio for Solo Leveling? Is it A1 Pictures? No, who is it? Oh, I was right. It is A1 Pictures. A1 Pictures is doing a really good job. The first episode of season 2 was nothing crazy, but overall, I'm really impressed with the animation quality. A1 Pictures, right. Thank you. When's Ouji gonna pick up a new work? So he was supposed to do like cooking manga, and then he was supposed to do like a battle royale manga. Trying to find the name of it. So if you go on Anime News Network, Dr. Stone's Boichi launches new Super String manga with Shin Ongo Onshi's in Wanyun. So he is working on some kind of webtoon. I don't know if it's still going, but he is working on that. Did I watch Blue Lock Season 2? No, I do not watch or read Blue Lock. A1 through the Subdivision Satellite did a great job with the original Fairy Tail. Yeah, Fairy Tail, I always liked how it looked visually. Is Senku the son of the Sunken Rock protagonist? No, but I do like that headcanon. Yeah, I heard Blue Lock was kind of disappointing, which is a shame because I know everyone really likes that manga. We got Eden's in the chat. Eden's, what's good? How you doing, man? Our boy is back. That's right. Eden's, so I'm going to open to you. I'm going to start it with you, but this is open to everyone in the chat. How do we feel about Unji's new fit? Because, so if you turn to his introduction on pages 6 and 7 of today's chapter, you get like the full profile. He's still rocking the like sandal look, and he's still got the kind of baggy pants, but he's got like a, not like a duster, he's got like a winter duster slash parka jacket, whereas before he had the like Hawaiian shirt, or I guess in Japan they would call it an Okinawa shirt. How do we feel? So I like the glasses. I do really like the glasses. But I almost wish he's rocking the long coat. So I like the long coat. I think it makes him kind of look like a boss. And when I say a boss, I mean like it gives him kind of like an air of leadership, which is nice because he is like the leader of the delinquents. So I'll say this, I like the design overall. I feel like it's a great way to show growth on Unji's behalf. I kind of like the long coat look over the Hawaiian shirt. So I do like his look. I think he went from like, you know, teenage delinquent to sort of like urban punk, right? Because before he had like the Okinawa shirt, the Hawaiian shirt, he had the something to note, he doesn't have the eye piercing anymore. He used to have the little piercing on his left eye. He doesn't have that anymore. Um, and I can't remember if he had shorts or baggy pants, but he was rocking more of like a Japanese high school delinquent look. Now he kind of looks like I don't even know what I would call it. I don't think the longer hair is going to be around for a while. Yeah, that was so. This is a me problem. I actually kind of like him with the long hair, but here's my thing. Unji was my spirit brother. He was my soul brother because I buzz my hair. So he was buzzed hair representation, and he backed out of that. So I'm not going to lie, I am a little sad to see the buzz cut go. But I also think it fits. Like the whole outfit fits really well. And it also fits his character. Like it's one thing to say, oh, it's a cool design. But so many times you have like a cool design and you're like, yeah, but that's not what the character, like that's not really them. Like who is that? I feel like this is very Unji coded. Like this is very Unji-esque. So I like it. I really like the glasses. I like the coat, but I don't know how to describe his look other than like urban punk. Like it's not quite Tokyo Revengers. So what I liked about his older look was that it was kind of like the high school version of Yakuza character. Because the Yakuza characters will wear like the baggy shirts and the baggy pants and the sandals. He's still rocking the baggy pants. Read the artist comment, please. I will get to that in just a second. Let me finish my thought. Yeah, I like sort of Yakuza looks with like the baggy clothes and the sandals, which he's still kind of half rocking. But the jacket makes him look like more urban punk and less high school delinquent. So overall, I really like it. I think it works for him. I'm just a little salty that he's no longer is my buzz cut representation. But he's doing it in style. Also, I just noticed he's got the little scar on his chin, which I think is really cool. Again, it's a very balanced design because it's like softer, but it's still very punk, I guess. It's shameful how artists of big manga often end up drawing small no-name mangas afterward. That's not always true. You have to remember, it's hard to get like a big manga. So it's a big ask to expect them to do it like back to back. I like it too. He just gives off the vibes that he's going to shave it off as soon as they get thrown into the mix with whatever Jermaine causes. Especially when he said it only grew it out because he was in the hospital for a while. I'm not going to lie. Like, I am salty that he doesn't have the buzz cut anymore. Because I thought his buzz cut was really cool. I almost kind of hope that he keeps the long hair and he like styles it somehow. Like he does some kind of Tokyo Revengers looking, some Tokyo Revengers looking haircut. But again, I'm cool either way. For example, the artist of Promise Neverland is now drawing the monthly manga of Beyblade X as his only source of income. I mean, like I said, it's hard to do like a back-to-back series. I mean, just look what happened to the artist for Act Age. But thankfully now they're working on Ichi the Witch. I could be wrong, but this also feels like the first chapter in a while without the big double page spread. I know it's rare when we don't get one from Tatsu. I feel like this fits though, because this is sort of like an in-between transition chapter where it was very dialogue heavy. And there's like no action in this chapter. The only action is like the short clash they have at the end of the chapter before Momo cuts off their powers. Speaking of which, a couple of notes to talk about. So we already knew this, but something to note is that Momo was able to stop everyone's powers in the clash. So she simultaneously stopped Evil Eye, Gigi's umbrella powers, Unji's. That's going to get really confusing. Unji and Gigi. That's going to get very easy to mix. Evil Eye, Unji's powers, and Ira's powers, she stopped them all at the same time, even in her little form, which I don't think her powers have really changed in her little form, but still. Something to note going forward is that with her powers, she could clearly stop a bunch of power users, which is definitely a nice bit of growth on her part, because if you recall, in the beginning of Dandadan, it took like her entire concentration just to control Okarun. So to see her do this with 3 characters all at the same time definitely seems like some growth to me. She did the same thing with Okarun early in the series, which is interesting to see that we got reminded she could do this. Yeah, so like I said, I feel like this is growth because it seems like she's doing this easier now. She did more people. And I feel like before it was a little harder with Evil Eye as well. But speaking of Evil Eye, I don't know that this came up in a prior chapter, but we do see what seems to be Gigi. So, let me see. So in this chapter, Gigi like rushes out of his jacket. He like throws all his like jacket and his backpack off. He runs over. There's really no indicator that he's using his Evil Eye abilities to any capacity, other than like in the one page 17, when he says, "Who the hell are you?" It kind of looks like he might start to be activating a hybrid form, maybe, especially when he's like juxtaposed to the other hybrid users, it didn't really seem like Gigi transformed. I kind of got the feeling, but at the same time, he's clearly not transformed. And also, um, when we look on page 19, Momo is only grabbing Unji and Ira. So clearly he didn't like officially transform or otherwise. So let me retract what I said. Momo stopped 2 people, not 3 people, because Gigi did not transform. So it was just Ira and Unji. Let me make that correction. That being said, I did kind of get the feeling this chapter that Gigi maybe got like a boost. You know, if this was Dragon Ball, it would be like latent superpower or latent Super Saiyan boost, if that makes sense. I could see it being a situation where she doesn't realize how much she's progressed till she actually thinks about it. Because we know she's nowhere near as strong as she's supposed to be. Yeah, Momo's powers are weird because when she when she tries, she kind of like fumbles it. But when she's like in the zone, she's one of the strongest characters in the group. So her powers seem very situational. Maybe she uses her powers on the new Germain people. She knows about the knife. Yeah, that's one theory, right? Like if she has better control of her spirit powers, then in theory, she should be able to somehow like track the energy to the knife, or at least to the spirit user, and stop them if she sees it coming. I would have to go back and read the Koki fight, because with Koki, she was able to track her, I think. I would have to look back. But it certainly seems like that's something she should be able to do. That's most of my thoughts on this chapter. The other thing, obviously, we need to consider is the fact that, so Unji comes back in the picture. He approaches Momo and Okarun, and he informs us that Momo wasn't the only one that got cursed in the game. We got Justin in the chat. Justin, happy Monday. How you doing? Justin, did you follow all the playoff games this weekend? Who are you rooting for? Obviously the Bears. Joking about that, by the way, for obvious reasons. Excuse me. So we find out that Unji got cursed because now his eyesight is poor. He can't really see without glasses. And then there's the man that we're told is named Daiki, who was the old man in the game. You did watch all the playoff games? Good. I'm glad. I thought they were kind of underwhelming, but I'm looking forward to tonight's game and all the other games. Am I happy I got a new head coach? I'm just happy they fired what's his name. I thought he sucked so bad. So Momo got tiny. Unji lost a lot of his eyesight, and Daiki is aging. So something I like about this arc. So first of all, it seems like clearly now this whole group is in it together, because there was all this stuff with Jermaine in the first place. Then Momo got small. Then there was all the stuff in the restaurant fight with Seiko and her two friends. Um, and now Unji and Daiki are in the picture. And, excuse me, now we have a sense of urgency because it seems like if they don't save Daiki fast enough, he could possibly, just die of old age. What's the name of the coach we hired? I didn't even see. I just knew they fired Mayo. Something that just occurred to me though is this chapter was kind of nice for anyone who ships Ira and Gigi. I'm not too familiar with that shipping community or fans of that ship. I know there's a significant amount of people who ship them. Mike Vrabel. Oh, that'll be interesting. I've definitely heard his name before. I'll have to look that up after the stream. That'll be interesting to see how he coaches the team. But yeah, this chapter was nice if you ship Gigi and Ira, because clearly, like they were just waiting for everybody else, but it does show that like they are actually capable of like hanging out just the two of them. It's not big from what I've seen, but clearly it's there. Yeah, clearly it's there. I might have to do a stream. We might make that next Tuesday stream. We'll rank all the ships and Dandadan. I'll have everyone submit their favorites and I'll rank them in a tier list. I think that would be a fun idea. Excuse me. Oh, yeah. We also have the one-sided love interest B team duo. Yeah. He played for the Patriots and won 3 Super Bowls with you guys. Mike, let me see. Now this is going to bother me. I know I recognize the name. Mike Vrabel. Oh, he was a linebacker. Okay, so he knows his stuff, hopefully. Excuse me. Yeah, that's kind of it. Other than that, I guess the only thing we have to think about is, is this going to be like the next big arc, or are we in kind of like a transition arc right now? Because obviously Tatsu is doing a bunch of build up and what could be considered foreshadowing. There's a lot of moving pieces in the arc we're in right now, but I'm not sure how this arc is going to play out, because it's been a lot of like small fights. Like they start one chapter and then they end the next chapter. We had the Koki fight, and then we had the bull fight, and we have this little clash, and now we have the bully character who has the like yokai spirit. The one character who really doesn't like Okarun. So I'm wondering if that's I'm assuming that's just gonna be like another 2-chapter fight. But with everyone all teamed up now, I'm wondering if it's gonna be like the Dandadan Avengers, where we're gonna have like another big fight where everyone teams up. I don't know how soon that's gonna be, but it feels like that's what we're building up to. As far as ships, we have Momo and Okarun, Gigi and Ira, Kinta and Vamola. Yeah, we have the president. I just call her the class president. I can't remember her name. Seems like that's going to be Okarun's fight. Maybe helps him get his powers back. Yeah, that's kind of what I like about this arc. Is it seems like we're getting enough foreshadowing that we do have a good sense of where the story is headed, but not so much that, or it's just enough that we still don't really know what's going to happen, which I like about Dandadan. I remember at one point in the story, people kind of felt like the story didn't really have a whole lot of direction. When this manga was only like 30, 40 chapters in, it wasn't uncommon for people to be like, okay, this manga is just about Okarun's balls. Like, it has no plot. And now I feel like the plot is insanely layered. Like, Dr. Stone. Maybe not Dr. Stone layered, but it's getting there. I was going to say Attack on Titan, but I feel like that would be a bit of a stretch. I don't really know what you would compare it to, but the plot has a lot of moving pieces, a lot more than we had previously. I feel like people said that because of how unpredictable it was. Yeah, but to that point, I've always kind of liked that I never really knew where the story was going, which is why I appreciate that Tatsu is still able to do that. Almost 200 chapters in. That being said, now we're at a point where we still don't really know what's going to happen, one arc to the next. But it does feel like there's a lot more direction than there used to be. Which is nice, because it's like a clear sign of growth in the story. Do I think we're headed into the final arc with all of this setup? We're definitely in the second half of the story, especially since we're on chapter 180. So I feel like Dandadan will probably be 300 plus chapters. Maybe end around like 350, 360 if I had to guess. But somewhere upwards of like 300 chapters. I don't think we're definitely not in the final arc, but it does feel like we're getting there, because presumably Count Saint Germain is the final boss of this story, so I don't really know where we would go after that. There are lingering threats, right? Like there could always be more aliens. There could always be something going on with the Subterraneans. I know a lot of people are still kind of waiting for the Subterraneans to do something. It does feel like with each big arc, it gets bigger and bigger. Like if you count I don't know if you would count the like board game arc, but that did have a big army. But if you count the alien arc with Vamola and the battle against the aliens, that was like a huge arc. That was like Avengers Endgame level. So to think we're gonna get to think that wasn't even the final arc, and to think like, oh, we still have the final arc, I'm kind of expecting like Count Saint Germain to team up with like the Subterraneans and a bunch of aliens and like a army of like spirit hybrid users. Again, I have no idea, but it doesn't feel like. So that being said, the reason I bring that up is because it doesn't feel like if that's where we're headed, if that's what the final arc is going to look like, it doesn't feel like we're there quite yet. It feels like we're building up to that though. the SG arc. I'll have to look up the names. I saw as the end of the first saga, with everything at that point building to it. First saga for the balls was aliens being the huge climatic battle. This time with Germain, it seems like it'll be more spirit related. True. It feels like everything prior to like the alien battle was the first half, and now we're in the second half. Yeah, I definitely have a better appreciation for the writing in the beginning because, again, in the beginning, it just kind of feels like balls. But clearly, he has had, I'd say, like 90% of the story planned out way ahead of time, especially with all the Germain stuff. Like the Germain foreshadowing is crazy. Space Globalist. Okay, thank you. We also have Amola mom and the other alien granny from her world. That's true. I forgot the fact that that's in the background. I feel like the final arc of Dandadan is gonna feel a lot like the final arc, or I guess the second to last arc of Gintama, because in Gintama they had a big alien battle on Earth, and so I feel like there's gonna be a big alien battle. But also like all the yokai users and spirit users. That's really all I have to say for this week's chapter. Yeah. I don't know what we're going to do next week. For January, we are going to do Dandadan streams every Monday. We'll see how that goes, depending on what my video schedule is next month. It might change, but for this month anyway, I want to do Dandadan Mondays. I want to try and build like a weekly community. Like I want to do for Dandadan what everyone has for One Piece. I think that'd be really fun. Try and make Monday Dandadan Monday. I'm expecting Germain to go for the easier target members of the team after he fails to get Momo and Okarin again, so maybe someone like Kinta or Vermola. I feel like if anybody, it would maybe be like Ira or Gigi. It's got to be someone who's like emotionally like super valuable, like someone we're like really emotionally invested in. So I don't know. Maybe Turbo Granny. Excuse me. So yeah, Dandadan stream next week. Same time, same day. Topic to be determined later. There will be a stream Thursday. What it will be, I'm not so sure yet. Although, take that back. Thursday is Dr. Stone. We're doing Dandadan Mondays and Dr. Stone Thursdays this month. So look forward to a Dr. Stone stream on Thursday. Next video has been delayed. It'll probably come out Thursday. There is a small chance I might upload it late tomorrow, but probably early Thursday. On that note, thanks everybody. Thanks for a great discussion. Had a lot of fun talking Dandadan today. And I'll see you Thursday. Peace.